Security Breach was just days away from releasing after delays on top of delays, and fans were both excited and worried about what the game would be, with good reason as well. The marketing at that point was pretty mixed, and so it was debated everywhere what the game would truly be like, and if it would be single-handedly the best game in the series or the absolute worst. Then it was finally released. Ambition. Ambition when applied to a project can be a good thing or a bad thing. The influence of wanting to build more or do something that seems far-fetched is a great motive, but sometimes building more can cause the core aspects of what was trying to be built within it to be lost, which can single-handedly lead to wanting to cut corners to reach unreachable deadlines in time. Now, where does this exactly tie into Security Breach? What originally sparked the question was looking back at the trailers that built up to the release of Security Breach. Obviously, elements were going to change as the game kept being developed, but what initially had brought me to make this video was regarding certain elements that were advertised to be in the game, but that never ended up actually happening. When we compare certain voice lines that appeared in the trailers to what we got in the game, there was obviously either a total story shift at some point, or what was being advertised was never in the game at all. Characters like Vanny were probably intended to have more of a prominent role. This was their game and is advertised in the front cover and everything. I would like to believe the idea that Security Breach had a different story prior to something occurring to completely change it, because again, the voice lines in the gameplay trailer and teaser trailer both imply a much different experience and mystery that haunts the Pizzaplex. But also looking back, a lot of what was in the final build of the game seems to give the idea that maybe nothing was really changed at all, and that the actual gameplay and story were both implemented really late into the game cycle, that there was no time to include everything they wanted, which probably explains why the game released in a rather buggy state. Which brings me back to what I said earlier about ambition. The Pizzaplex was probably one of the most focused on details in the game, because if we take the time to look at all the details around the mall, you can tell how much care went into it. But when you focus too much into designing the layout and forget that the game has to be in here, there are obviously gonna be some problems. Like Scott said during the first delay of the game, the cake just got 3 times bigger. Do I hate Security Breach? No, I actually really enjoy the game, even if it wasn't received that well by the majority of the fandom. The environment is an absolute blast to explore, because believe it or not, I've still managed to skip over details even after playing the game for an absurd amount of time. Though I do wish we got the full experience Stevo wanted to provide. Hopefully they are able to fix a lot of the issues that came from the main game and the DLC Ruin, which is set to release at some point this year. With all the merch that's been recently dropping, I think the DLC will probably have similar advertising with its old cartoon like Freddy and Friends on Tour, or they might be the new enemies in the DLC, but it's way too early to tell right now. I do have one final question in the end. What do you think of Security Breach? My name is Talkbox, and welcome to one of many FNaF videos, although rather short for the first, where I sit down and play and analyze your favorite indie horror games. If you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe and like, and yeah, thank you for watching.